Okay, so I thought what we would do is just kind of do a little update for the class, just to kind of show where this first lab kind of has us at. And so Grant has been working on this first lab, and the point that Grant and I have been discussing is that this particular front end code that he's been drafting is just that. It's a draft. It's a work in progress. By no means is this finished. In fact, I was looking yesterday at some prior students' work, and the repository of just front end React code had some 60 commits, 60 plus. I think it was like 65 or something like that. Well, what am I saying there? Well, it's a lot of work, right? And we're not going to finish the front end in just one lab, if you will. So it's a work in progress, much like our back end took weeks and weeks and weeks. The front end will take essentially the remaining portion of the semester. We're going to continually to work on it and continually evolve it. So this is not a finished product, but I did think it would be worth our time for the class's sake to just kind of show where we're at as of today, July 18th, doing just this first lab with React. And so I'm going to kind of shut up and maybe just let Grant kind of walk through what he's done, and I'll give it away.
Okay, so first, I guess I can show the login and registration forms. Those I mostly pulled from templates online with just a bit of editing, and I've still got a bit more work to do, but those are sort of the post bingo.
Now, as you're doing this, you're commenting out these different components and bringing them in one at a time.
Yes.
Literally, what we're going to learn today is how to link components. And so we don't, everything right now is a single page application. And so you don't have any links on your site. And so we're going to learn what's called React Router. And it's really not a hard technology, but we're going to learn how to create different links in different pages essentially.
Okay. So my footer is a bit messed up, but this is kind of um, the basic login
Yep.
page.
Looks good. You got a gradient there?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, looks good. I mean, Grant we were chatting yesterday, and it's like, hey, what can I do to kind of make it look better? I think was the general just
Yeah.
conversation that we were having. And a lot of this is pulling inspiration from other sites. Going out and finding other sites that look that have a look and feel that you might want to strive for. But generally speaking, when you're building something from scratch, you're just adding controls to a form, and there's not a lot of images. And so my one thing, and we've got one image here, but the more images you add, images go an incredibly long way to making a site look better. So we've got kind of one image here, and maybe if that could be changed, maybe with some text, adding some text, Grant's 2023 bug tracker, some sort of text with the image to describe what's going on, but having sort of a logo, which includes again text, images. But when you have that text, finding a good font, right, and these little things, having good images on a site, having good fonts, having good colors. Those are three really simple things that sound simple on the surface, but once you start implementing them, you're going to see that this site really comes together. And so, just by adding that little, simple image of a bug, you get a little bit better looking site. But then you start adding, maybe a text that says, Grant's issue tracker whatever it may be, MERN stack issue tracker, school learning portfolio project, something like that,
Right.
in a neat font, that kind of stands out, would be cool. So, good looking site. You got the controls on there, and I've seen the progress that you've made. Definitely made good progress. Again, a couple other things there could help it even go further, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then just little things that you can do. You kind of see the React app up in the tab. You could put a custom title on it. You could, and this is just a conversation really for any student. This is not for Grant, but that's kind of the template that you get. So every page having its unique title. As again, we got to learn how to have pages, but okay, cool. What do you got next?
Register form's gonna be pretty simple.
Do me a favor and okay, cool. So register first, last, email, password. We got a gradient. We got the image there. Maybe making that image because you can see the borders on the image. Maybe having a
Yes.
transparent background, making it like a because it's just black and white. You can make it a GIF, and GIFs can have transparent backgrounds, or make it a ping, and kind of delete that white. Let's just kind of glance at the code since we're at it. And do you have like autocomplete in there? And do you have, yeah, you got some. Oh, okay, beautiful. And then all of those labels, and they're all Bootstrap and have all the Bootstrap classes and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Yeah, so let's just kind of glance at the code. You can see we've got rows and columns. We've got some Bootstrap. We got a Bootstrap card, which is cool. We've got I see a font awesome. So that line 31, I see an icon with FA user. And so was that font awesome? Was that working? I'm just kind of curious if that FA
Um,
user.
I took, I did take a bit of stuff out. This might be left over from the template that I was using.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll show you how to do some fun, awesome stuff. To get some different icons. Because
Okay.
I go ahead.
I think this template had things like Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah.
login as well, and I just took that out temporarily, at least temporarily.
Yep. Yep. I can show you how to bring in Font Awesome. You can bring it in as a dependency, and then have different icons like Facebook, so on and so forth.
Okay.
But yeah, you can kind of see those eyes, like on line, for example, 38, and on line 31. Probably those icons aren't showing up. Those Font Awesome icons.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we can learn how to do that. Very cool. Next one.
This was just kind of what I was working on as we finished up class. Yes. Kind of just getting this page formatted correctly where I have my search bar at the top. I need a button still. And then having my sort of end goal is to have your results with the sort, and you click on your results, and the larger bug comes up here. So I want that to kind of be dynamic and kind of link between the two. That's kind of where my idea is going right now, but obviously that's not inputted quite yet, and I've got a lot of stuff to pretty this up still.
Okay. Cool. And so this search by, and so that's a drop down. So you can search by, like your, I guess I'm search because
I
normally
made that. I guess the JavaScript isn't working yet, but I made that with the parameters that we did in that kind of the search all when we did the like keywords, title.
Right. So
Oh,
keywords you would allow a user to actually type out in a text box,
yes.
and then you would be able to kind of maybe sort by. I see the sort by. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking there. Um, but yeah, I would think a search, if you're going to search by keywords, allowing a user to type into a text box is just a thought. Oh, there's a
Yeah, and
text box.
this
Hey,
is I don't know what happened with the formatting of this text box when I was
oh,
making a flex box and everything, but
got it.
that's the start of it. Yeah.
I just didn't see that text box. It kind of blended in,
Oh yeah,
at
yeah, I
least on
see.
my screen. Maybe you could see it better on yours.
Yeah, mine it looks looking at my screen, the gradient looks a lot less bold. It looks kind of faded out on Discord.
Okay. Well, cool. And so this is where we're at so far. Yeah, I mean this is
Uh, yes, I've got the other individual components like the editor, but um, they're still a pretty basic stage, and I wasn't.
can
Those
you?
are also going to be their own separate pages in my mind,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they weren't getting formatted with these.
yeah. Can you just maybe just show what you got there so far?
Yeah. Again, pretty basic, and as we were talking a bit last week about what you do with additional permissions. So I'm not sure how this is going to change when someone can, because only certain people can say add a test case to a bug. So still have to figure out, I guess, some of the logic back there, but this is at least a basic form of what would open when you select to edit a bug.
Okay. And just thinking out loud here, having some sort of universal header up at the top, a nav bar up at the top, a footer down at the
Yeah.
bottom, because right now you've got the component in the middle, but we just need to add the rest of the site around it, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. All right, and then next
I'm thinking.
is you got a user list.
Yeah, the user list will be pretty similar to that bug list that we saw, but I can show it.
Yep.
Yeah, similar, and then
And all that's again, if I were to look at the user list component, it's all Bootstrap and it's all um, kind of using IDs. If I go into user list, and we've got Bootstrap classes, and we have uh, buttons, um, and we have a table, Bootstrap table. Okay.
and then this is what was on the right side of the first kind of dashboard screen that I showed. This is the user version of the bug, and I would again like some sort of button that goes to the editor, um, and then yeah, as you said, like the full universal footer and nav bar and everything.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect, man. Anything else you want to show off?
I think that's it.
Cool. Um,
Yeah,
well, thank you for that. Again, work in progress. I just wanted to show kind of a current thing there. Now, let me ask you this. So you've got an image folder kind of hanging out there. Is that where your logo is? Okay. So,
that's just this.
oh, that is a PNG. Okay. Interesting that it didn't seem like it was actually a transparent background.
Yeah, I think what happened was that the whole form was white on I added a gradient, but I hadn't, I guess, made the whole register form a different color yet.
Now, typically static images like that are going to go inside the public folder. So if you kind of expand public, remember here's your logo.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, yeah.
And remember when we did npx create React app and we imported the logo and then we used the logo as essentially a variable? Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
So that's another way of working with images in React is you put it in the public folder. That's where static files should go, and then you can kind of import it and bring it in that way. It's
okay.
just another way of doing it. Now, so let me see what you did in to get that image in. Just a standard image tag, I'm assuming. On like yeah. Okay, so you
I did this.
okay. So you did bring it in.
Importing from here.
Okay. Yeah, my understanding is that so the only change I would make would put it in public and kind of bring it in from public, and uh, you should be good there.
Okay, great.
Um, Alrighty, thank you, sir. We'll stop that demo there.
Thank you.